Hey guys, it's Boosty here, and thanks again for stopping by. Today we've got a great watch review for you guys. We're going to be reviewing the Seiko Flight Master, also known as the model Seiko SNA411. Now, this is a great aviation style chronograph watch with a quartz movement that can be had for right around or under $300 brand new. So what we're going to go ahead and do is jump into some B-roll shots so you guys can get a better up-close look at the watch. And then from there, we'll do some specs and my overall thoughts on it as I've owned it for over a year. So let's do it. So now that we've gotten a better look at the watch, let's go ahead and dive into some of the specs. 42mm case, although I found like it wears more like a 40, so it's not overly large on your wrist, depending on your wrist size. 13mm thick, not the thinnest, but not the thickest we've seen out of a functional watch. You're looking at hard-lex mineral crystal on the front. You're looking at screw-down buttons for the chronograph and a screw-down crown. 200-meter water resistance, the 3 sub-dials being minute, second, and alarm, the date at the 3 o'clock position. You're also looking at stainless steel bracelet, deployment, and closure. So yeah, just to talk about the clasp and the band really quick, you have the Seiko branded stamp on the fold over of the clasp, and then from there, once you flip it up, I was mistaken before, you do have the 2-button push to deploy from there. So you have the 2-button deploy, and then you also have the fold over, and that locks into place as well. The center of the band is more polished than the side pieces of steel, and that adds to somewhat of a sporty look to this aviation watch, but overall, very little noise. Very little jingle from this band, not something like a Jubilee where it's loud. I really think it's a nice band. I think it complements the finishing well on the case. And overall, it's a nice little band. From there, you can take a peek at the slide rule bezel that I think looks gorgeous. It adds to the sophistication of the aviation style that this watch is definitely under, making it look more like that Breitling Navitimer look. The lugs are 21mm, so it is kind of an odd size, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That was all the information I could find, was that it was 21mm. So let's take a peek here. So here's a shot of it on my wrist, and I have a 7¼ inch wrist, and you can see it's not overly massive, but at the same time, it's not small. It doesn't wear like a 36mm either. So some other things to note about the watch are that, yes, the dial is very busy, and that comes with the aviation style, and I personally enjoy that. I think it's very good looking. Some of the hour markers are applied, and I think that's a nice touch. And another thing to note, the bezel, has no clicks, and it's bidirectional. So it just kind of slides well, and it will get bumped out of place from time to time, but it's not the same as a unidirectional diver bezel, so just note that difference. Just looking at, there's not a dome. Well, actually, there's a slight dome to the crystal, but it's nothing dramatic. But overall, for under $300, you're getting a lot of watch. And don't be off-put by the fact that this is a quartz watch. I don't think that's really a problem per se, because if you were looking for an automatic aviation watch of similar finish and quality, you'd be paying around $500 instead of around $300. So quartz isn't really the end of the world in that aspect. But with that being said, that's the specs. My thoughts on it are, I love this watch. I bought this with my own money. This isn't sponsored. I was not given this watch. I bought this watch and I love it. I do not regret it. I love alternating it with the SKX 007, and I think it's a great watch to wear to a work environment. I think you could wear it casually. I think the 200-meter water resistance gives it a definite sporty feel to it. So I think there's a lot of ways you can wear this watch, and if you get some NATO straps for it, you're really not limited to styling it accordingly with whatever you're wearing. And from there, in hand with that, I believe you can dress this watch up or down. It works in a myriad of environments. The only real color outside of the monochromatic scheme is the yellow second hand and the yellow hand on the minute subdial. But those are my thoughts on it. I think it's well worth the buy. You can buy it from Long Island Watch Company for around $287 right now. And I would recommend picking one up. I think it's a great watch to have in the collection. If you're looking for an aviation watch under $300, I think you cannot go wrong with this watch. If you have more money and you want to, put that into a watch, there's other options, obviously, that are automatic and nicer, but with that will come the higher price tag. But for those of you, again, who are looking for a sub $300 aviation style chronograph, I think this fits the bill perfectly. But with that being said, guys, that's about all I have to say about it. And again, I really like it, and I would recommend you pick one up as well. So that's all from here from Boosty. Stay tuned. I think in the next video I'll be reviewing another watch, but a dress watch. But until then, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel.